Hello all, and a very warm welcome to all of you. My name is Amali Alwis. I'm the former CEO of CodeFest Girls and former Managing Director of Microsoft for Startups in the UK, and was honoured to be inducted into the Computer Weekly Hall of Fame in 2019. This year, we are coming together to celebrate the phenomenal achievement of an incredible group of women in the tech industry, with the added celebration of being the 10th anniversary of Computer Weekly's list of the most influential women in UK tech. But we hold these celebrations against a backdrop of what could be referred to as the most extensive global human crisis of the last century. The COVID-19 pandemic has impacted all of us. And as we slowly start to move forward through the pandemic in the UK, we are left with many questions about how we as society have been changed by it. And specifically, thinking about our working environments in the tech industry, what this will look like going forwards. Looking to where we are now, there appear to have been both good and not so good outcomes of these changes in working circumstances, particularly in relation to our use of technology. The way that many of us have worked from home over the past 18 months would have been unthinkable when Computer Weekly first started these awards 10 years ago. And technology has allowed us to remain in human contact virtually, even when we weren't able to meet physically. The acceptance of digital communication technologies for full-time work has accelerated decades of workplace cultural changes, enabled us to better support individuals to work from home, and supported many of us to be able to spend more time with those that we live with, and for the first time in history, explore the possibility of remote working en masse. But there have been less favorable outcomes as well. For example, research has shown that women have regrettably borne the brunt of many of these negative changes in working conditions also. And a recent report conducted by McKinsey & Company and the women's campaign group leanin.org found that COVID has intensified work, childcare and housework pressures for women, with senior level women under significantly more pressure than their male counterparts, and more likely than men at the same level to feel under pressure to be always on at work. They are 1.5 times more likely than senior level men to think about downshifting their careers or leaving the workforce because of COVID-19. And almost 3 in 4 cited burnout as a main reason, with Black women particularly feeling under support and impacted by racial violence. According to the Women in Workplace, the largest comprehensive study of the state of women in corporate America, their research also showed that as many as 2 million women were considering taking a leave of absence or leaving the workforce altogether. So what are we left with now? And how do we move forward through the next 10 years and ensure that the legacy of COVID-19 on the workplace for women in tech will embrace more of the positives and move beyond the negative? For me, there are 2 things which I have learned, which we have all learned from working through COVID, which might help if we keep in mind. Number 1, technology in the tech sector has cemented itself as critical infrastructure, and our dependence on tech will continue to grow. This will mean that for those working in these sectors, you are also critical. And by working in tech, you are working in one of the most globally transferable, best paid, fastest growing sectors in the world. Companies will continue to invest heavily in tech, and as such, continue to invest in tech hiring. And with tech skills being in such high demand, companies are under pressure more than ever to consider the needs of their employees and retain tech talent. And the reality is that if they aren't willing to be fair, then people more than ever should feel empowered to take their talents elsewhere. The second is that there is power in community and there is power in group voice. Please don't suffer or celebrate silently. If the changes that our workplaces have gone through the past 18 months have taught us anything, it's that workplaces are capable of much greater flexibility than ever before, if they wish it. And more so than ever, we as individuals have the right to demand better from both our employers and our governments. Even if we may not realize it, things have changed over these past 10 years. For example, the Hampton-Alexander Review saw targets being set and met for women on boards, with progress, although not full goals achieved, against targets for women on exec committees and in senior leadership roles. We have seen the introduction of gender pay gap reporting, with movements such as Me Too and Black Lives Matter raising a greater spotlight on equality and enabling all of us to understand more about these inequalities and how to support those impacted. And even if we look at Computer Weekly's most influential women in tech long list, I was blown away by the number of nominations in the list this year. This has grown from the top 25 list published in 2012 to their first published long list of 170 in 2017, with us this year celebrating over 500 extraordinary women working in the UK tech sector. So my desire for all of us over the next 10 years is for us to continue celebrating, continue to speak up, continue to demand equality and fair treatment, continue to build and grow tech businesses and be brilliant, and most importantly, to continue to support new women into the tech industry. A rising tide lifts all boats, and I, for one, consider it a privilege to be going on that journey with so many incredible individuals. So congratulations to all those nominated this year, and to Computer Weekly and all those women that you have helped us to celebrate through the most influential women in UK tech list this past decade. A very happy anniversary to you all.